It has been a tough week. Not in life in general. I am on vacation and I'm really enjoying myself. I have nothing to complain about on that matter. But creatively, it has been an uphill battle lately. I can get shocked of how hard it can be to create sometimes. I mean, I want to do it, and I have the time and I have the skills to do it, but sometimes all these parts don't seem to be able to work together. And you do not really get much sympathy for your struggles either. I mean, there's actually no real reason to pity me. These are projects that I have chosen to work on by my own free will on my free time. I am not obligated to do anything. If I get frustrated, I can just give up, and that's that. But if you are anything like me, you know that it's not that easy. It is this spark inside of you, these things you want to show to the world. And you cannot just ignore it just because it would be easier to do that. I don't buy this art is a suffering mentality. Art is supposed to be fun and easy. But nobody is perfect. Nobody has good days every day. And therefore, I don't think it is possible that art can be fun and easy all the time. The creative process has its ups and downs, and right now I am at a low point. And if you are too, I invite you to whine a bit in the comment section. Because we all need that sometimes. And if that's what you need to continue creating, I will listen. So you can see this as a struggling artist sketchbook party. For all of us who know that art actually is really fun and fulfilling, but just not right now, at this moment. So grab a cup of tea and maybe some art supplies, and let's have a nice time struggling together. Today I'm finishing up these 4 sketches. I am slowly working my way through the sketchbook. In the last video I worked on half-finished sketches from April, but now I have started on those from May. So there is progress, even if it can feel incredibly slow sometimes. On the lid of my watercolor box I have some dried excess colors that I already mixed for other projects. I decided that I would not only complete these old drawings, but I would use up some of these old colors as well. I also packed some crayons that you will see later in the video. I will be doing this cool thing with crayon and watercolor. You draw with white crayon on the paper and that will be almost invisible. But then you put watercolors on top of it and magic happens. Because the watercolor does not stick to the crayon, so suddenly the lines appear. You will see it later on in the video when I make the snow for the 3rd drawing. I could have made the lines with crayon more bold, then you would have seen it even better, but I'm still happy with it. So that's something you could try out if you're struggling with what you should draw today. Or if you're struggling with something entirely else. We have all earned the joy of some crayon and watercolor magic. And since we are back on the subject of struggling creatively, I thought I would share with you a few things that I have told myself this week, to not lose hope and to not give up. And I can say that for me, it has helped. Because even though I still struggle, it has gotten easier. There was a change at some point, actually during the filming of this video, I think. And since then, it has slowly gone better. So I can proudly say that I have been in somewhat of a creative slump, but I am making my way out of it. And I will give you some words of inspiration that helped me and perhaps could help you too. Because I think that most creative struggles are just these beasts of our imagination. They are made up of words that we tell ourselves, thoughts that change our perspective on things. As I said earlier, I want to work on these art projects. I have the time and the skills, but still it is so hard. Even though I objectively can see that it's not hard at all. It is just to pick up a pen and start. So what makes it so hard? What is it that takes the want, the time, the skills and separate them from each other? It's not a physical thing, it's something internal. Something that I have come up with myself. A thought, words I tell myself. Often it helps to do a bit of self-reflection. To slow down, listen to yourself, and try to figure out what causes the problem. Mostly, at least for me, it's some variation of "it's not good enough." Maybe nobody cares what you have to say. You are wasting your time and your energy, or you are never able to finish anything you start. I think it's quite common to tell oneself such things, but that does not mean it's okay. Sometimes it helps just to find those words and shed some light on them. The magic tends to fade by doing that. But it does not always work. I at least can't always grasp what it is that I am telling myself. The words tend to slip away, or they might just be too stubborn and refuse to leave. The former was true for me this time. I did not really find out what the problem was. So instead I tried to encourage myself in different ways, and that worked. And that's why I'm sharing those thoughts with you. I can't promise it will help, but it will surely do no harm either. So the first thing I tried to tell myself was, I do not fail, I lose my balance for a moment. This was for the days I skipped working on my art projects this week. I made myself a promise to work on my half-finished art projects every day during July. But I have already missed 4 of those days. So I guess I have failed. But the word failing is so final. It's like game over, time to give up. But what good comes from quitting a whole project just because you missed a day? So instead I try to say, I lost my balance. Because what happens when you lose your balance? You regain it. And then you can continue with what you were doing. No game over, no giving up, just a bump in the road. Another thing I told myself is that the creative process has its ups and downs. Because when you are in a slump, it's easy to lose sight of the fun in creating. Suddenly it feels like art always has been a struggle and always will be. It can feel as if whatever skills or gifts you have had, you have now lost them forever. A few tough days and it can feel like a life sentence. But it really is not. Art is easy and art is fun. And just because it feels that way right at this moment, it does not mean that it never will again. You have not come this far because you hate art and suffer while doing it. You will enjoy art again, I promise. The third thing I told myself was, imagine all the invisible progress you are making right now. I believe that when we are making art, things are happening to us on a deeper level. We might let go of things that we have been holding on to. We might understand things that we have had trouble embracing. Or we might work through some difficult emotions. I think art is not just about the artwork, but what happens with us while we make it. And especially when the art is hard to make, there are big things going on under the surface. Roots that grow deeper so that our creative plants eventually will grow bigger and stronger. And if you, like me, try to finish up old art projects, you will encounter a lot of old baggage. You might have forgotten about it, but it has been there all the time. And by working through your art, even when you don't feel like it, you will work through that baggage as well. And the fourth thing I told myself, the thing that really changed my perspective was, imagine your life when you have finished all abandoned art projects and you just have a blank slate. You can start whatever project you want, or you could just sit with the peace and quiet. I don't know if this is a realistic future, if it's even possible to finish all that I have started, or if it actually would make me happier. But I can say that the thought was inspiring to me, and sometimes that's enough. Because since the things that make art hard are mostly words and thoughts, it is usually enough with a right word or thought to change it all up. Or at least that is how I feel about it. But even as this video gets near its end and I am finishing up the sketchbook page, I don't feel that this struggling artist sketchbook party needs to be over. We can continue in the comment section. You can write about your creative struggles or what you tell yourself to get out of them. I have shared what have worked for me, but I would like to know what has worked for you. I am sending you my trust and encouragement in whatever creative projects you are working on right now. Soon we will be able to show the world and each other what we have achieved. If we just continue one day at a time.